Deliver me, Lord. Woo, glory, hallelujah.
Yes,
Thank you, Jesus.
yes,
Deliver me
yes.
from myself, God.
Yes.
Woo, hallelujah.
Molestation.
Wow. My God.
Powerful.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes we just want to bask.
Yes.
The hope.
My God.
Some people's actions are not because their spirit is wrong, but it's because the past has left a hole in their soul.
The past.
Greatest wisdom.
Sometimes sometimes it's hard to just come out of it. You know, I'm telling you, especially when he say God wants to heal the hole in your
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
glory.
Because sometimes it's not about what's happening now. We get stuck in what has happened in our past.
Yes.
And our past can leave a hole, right? That's hard for us to move forward from. But God wants to heal the hole in our past. Can we let him do that on today? Hallelujah.
Yes. Come on, give it up.
Hallelujah.
Welcome. We are so excited. I'm telling you.
Yes.
When Leandra came out with that song, I think it just totally blew up social media.
It did. Yes. It really did.
Amber sent it to me.
Yeah.
You know, the youth was being empowered by that song.
Yeah.
And it's so empowering. And throughout that entire song, what really, really empowered me, and I just had to just really release it and echo what he said was so empowering. He said, some people's actions are not because their spirit is wrong, but their past has left a hole in it.
Wow. That's deep.
That's so deep to me.
That's deep.
And so that gives us that opening range to forgive.
That's right. Absolutely.
And not make everything about us.
That's right. Absolutely. To see past what we see in the natural. Right? To understand it's not about that person. It's not about you. It's not personal. Move yourself out of the way. Maybe they're dealing with something that you know nothing about that's causing them to react in a way that they're reacting. So instead of you trying to defend yourself, take a step back and understand it's not about you.
That's a good
And I love the way you said it gives us an opening to forgive, understanding,
and to give grace.
Give grace.
And to learn how to give grace. Because we can only learn how to give grace when we're in that situation.
Absolutely.
When we're being tested.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
as we grow,
that's
what we do as we grow in God. We just learn how to give grace.
The way he gives grace to us. Because God gives grace to us. Because truth be told, none of us would be sitting where we are. I don't care from the bishop down to the sister sitting in there unless God had given us grace.
Well, to be honest with you, if we start looking at, and just really embracing the grace of God, we'll realize that we need to give grace. Why? Because God gave grace to us when we had a hole in our soul.
Come on now.
Let the truth be told.
My God.
Some of us are still moving and
Yes.
shaking and diving.
That's
and
right.
that hole still in our soul.
And he still gives us grace.
He
still gives us grace.
Every day he still gives us grace.
Absolutely.
Wow.
This is good. Well, listen, welcome. I'm excited about, and I like to say this new season. Because we know that we're in the trenches. Because we're transitioning, we're transforming every single day of our life.
Absolutely.
And we're really, honestly, even the day when I was putting around, this is just, we're pressing in this thing. We're pressing in this thing. It was even a challenge just to pop on here, and I say that because, we full.
Yes, we
it's
are.
a lot. We said 6:30, and then 6:30 went to 7 o'clock, then it went to 7. And it's like, when you know that, listen, not when you have a calling, but when you're chosen.
Absolutely. There you go.
It's only that remnant that's going to be
That's right.
that's going to hear the calling of God to
right.
understand that
That's
you're
right.
chosen by the grace of God.
And respond to
That's
it.
it, and respond to it. Absolutely. And so I think it's really important that we understand that. And I'm super excited and welcome each and you all to the show. We're really excited about that. I'm excited because we know that really we are in this, I want to say this wonder season.
Yes.
And that simply means I wonder what God going to do next. I wonder what God is going to do next.
Absolutely.
Because even if we can't see him, guess what? We can't see him.
Yes, that's
because
right.
we have to really look real deep to understand that he's still here.
He's still here.
And he's still here. He's moving, he's shaking, and I'm telling you, he's still yet creating some miracles.
Yes,
and what we really want to do, and what we really need to start doing as a people, is stop. I want to say bringing so much attention to what I call the small things. And we need to stop focusing on the really, really big things.
Yeah.
Like getting up in the morning.
Yes.
To me, that's big.
Yeah.
But we make those things so small,
Yes, we
don't
do.
we?
Yes, we do.
But when you figure about the fact that God woke us up.
He woke us up. Come on now.
In our right mind.
In our right mind.
Hello, somebody.
Ooh, Jesus.
Processing of healing the hole in our
Yes.
soul. Hello, somebody.
Wow.
Giving us the power
Yeah.
to move and breathe, to complete the things that He's given us to do.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
That's
and I
right.
know that it was such a phenomenal, and I'm saying it's kind of different type of season, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Phenomenal season
It
because
is.
of the new things that He's doing. And we're excited because of what happened, even with the empowerment, of human trafficking and getting information out.
Ooh.
I just feel led.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel led, pulled,
Yeah.
that we just really need to take this thing and really disperse
Have to.
information on every level.
Absolutely.
Because times has changed now.
Yes.
And so we have to realize that we got to shift and move in this
Absolutely,
change.
yes.
And we have to be available so that we're able to give out the information to what saved lives. I said something earlier today on a post. I think it's important that we remember while we're here, what type of footprints are we making on earth?
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
We just need to make these footprints on earth. Footprints on earth. So when we're no longer here,
Yes.
people yet can see the
The
footprints.
footprint. That's
Isn't
right.
that powerful?
Of us being here. Absolutely.
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah, that is powerful.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. And so when I think about that, I think about the footprints of empowerment that we want to leave in terms of human trafficking.
Wow.
And how important that is.
Wow.
And I know that's really, really, really important to you as well, Keish. And we just kind of want to really deal with that,
Absolutely,
talk
yeah.
about that. And prayerfully today, our objective is that some girl, some mother, some daughter will really, really open up, not only their eyes, but open up their spirit to understand that we're living in a totally different time.
Totally different.
We have to wake up
Yes.
and realize that we have to stop allowing, social media to shift us and run our life in a negative way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we have to really use it in a positive way by getting information like this out in the community to help heal the minds of people so that we can come into a new season.
Yes.
And so when I think about that, I think about all the young girls that are really, really right now are in a challenging situation because we're not where we used to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are many. And like you said, this is the time that we have to understand, and we've got to take control of social media and stop being so laxy-daisy and sit back and allow social media to control and do things. We have absolutely as a babysitter, right? Absolutely, to keep our kids, entertained or keep them quiet or whatever. No, you better find out what's happening on social media, and now use that platform in a positive way to bring awareness, to make people alert and to wake up people so that we can understand what's really happening right in front of our eyes.
Yes.
And as parents, we've got to stop being so laid back and just allowing things to happen. We have to understand that we have control and we have a responsibility to see what's going on and then be that protector that God has called us to be. To be that fix for our children, instead of allowing it to just happen and just say, well, it is what it is. No, it's not.
Until something happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's sad to see a lot of these stories that come out with these young girls getting kidnapped and different things like that. But sometimes it takes a tragedy to shake up
And
people.
that's terrible.
It's
You're
sad
right.
that we
You're
have
right.
to get to that
Absolutely.
point. But when we're at a point where it's not safe for a child to play a video game, and this is how deep it is. This is how deep Satan is working to get our seeds. But when you think about a video game and think back to when you used to play video games, how innocent playing a video game was. Usher simply playing Pac-Man.
That was my favorite one.
Listen,
that's it.
there's no pedophile connected to Pac-Man. So you
Right.
think about the schemes of the enemy now where, I talked to a 5th grader and she tells me she's playing a video game and a pedophile reach out to a 5th grader in a video game online.
Wow.
And he tells her to take off her shirt. So this is how deep it is. So it's not like there's no child that's safe online if they're not being properly monitored.
Right.
That's reality.
Yes.
So had she not had the knowledge to say this doesn't feel right nor sound right, let me take this to my mom.
Right.
How much further could it have gone? This is a 5th grader.
Wow.
Who can easily be influenced to say, hey, walk outside.
So I think education is important. I think the saddest part that even I hear, and I heard you mention earlier about taking responsibility. You said that parents take responsibility. So now that ties right into social media literacy.
Yes.
So important. And we talk about social media literacy for children, but what about social media literacy for parents? Because I think a lot of parents don't even know these things, honestly, that are going on. Wisdom and knowledge is good. The good word says, by all means get it what?
Get an understanding.
And I think when we understand things, that's the key to saving life. To get an understanding.
I agree.
I saw a video the other day, and I wanted to plug that in because that's very interesting. You said, and it just weighed in my spirit. And this little girl was no more than 2, maybe 3 years old, against the wall. I mean, she was breaking it down. She was shaking them hips and, doing her little, the little dance they do it. You know what I mean?
She was on a pole.
She was on the wall, just her hand on the wall.
Wow.
But this is the thing I want you to see. Regardless of the situation, it was inappropriate.
Yes.
Because it was advertisement for pedophiles.
That's right. That's right.
So that's my concern.
Yeah.
So when you think about media literacy, social, media literacy is so important to let the parents know, because we have a lot of young parents now.
Yes, we do.
That are doing things that I want to say, quote, that thinks that's cute.
Yes.
And it's not cute, because what you're doing is advertising your child. So when I think about human trafficking, I think about, come on now, are you opening up that gate in your home? And that's the thing that we're concerned about. And hopefully, even after this, segment, I pray that some young parent out there, take a really deep look in this thing and listen to realize that you are opening up the gate
And that's
to that demon, that demonic spirit. We're just gonna call it out to come and really snatch up, your children. Because guess what? You're putting the bait right in front of them. That's the wake up call. And I think that we need to kind of peel it and get it all the way down to the core to really deal with it. So before we even deal with human trafficking, how can we as a parent prevent some of these things from happening? Because guess what? At the end of the day, we're sitting here and we are putting the bait right. And our job as parents is to be a protector.
Absolutely.
What happened to protecting our children? And I think that's the part for me, Elder Carol, that breaks my heart. Because guess what? I call this learned behavior. So a lot of these things, and you talk about that a lot. A lot of these things are happening now. It's learned behavior.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing that they're born with. This stuff is taught to them, and they think it's cute.
Right.
And it's not cute.
No.
So that's the root that we need to cut.
Yes.
Because right now, what you're doing is you are developing that negativity.
That's right.
In your own home.
And I think,
a lot of them are just ignorant. And we say it all the time, it's not a bad thing. It's just that a lot of them don't know. When we think about a lot of the parents today, they were raised. They were raised in this way. They just failed to cut it.
Absolutely.
They failed to reach out to something more positive. Absolutely. I have to change the way that I came up, because that's how I grew up.
Right.
That's all I know.
That's it. So cutting that generational curse.
Cutting the generational curse. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes from, what we have to realize is as time evolves and changes, so does people, so does technology, and so do these things. Because you can look 50 years ago or back, when, like you said, we learned it from, Big Mama's mama or whatever. But during that time, maybe when it was happening, maybe it was quote unquote a little innocent. Maybe it's just in the family room, with just family, and we laughing and the babies, oh, that's so cute. There was no cell phones, right? There was no internet. There was no one to take it outside of your home, to take it out there and do harm. So what's happening is you're simply mimicking what was done then, but you have to understand patterns and times have changed. You can't do what what was done back then. And I think that's where the ignorance comes in at. And like we said, ignorance is not a bad word. It's not knowing.
It's the lack of
because what's
Absolutely.
happening now, even the video games that we give our children, like you said, the internet has evolved so much now. You've got bad guys sitting behind in their living room, in their underwear, these people, where they can log right in through a link to whatever you're doing online, whether it's through your bank account to steal your money, maybe it's logging into a game that a young person is playing, and their links and the URLs, they get right on there. So see, this wasn't happening 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So what's happening, our mentality has to change with the time. So these parents that are stuck doing what they saw their parents and their parents doing, and they're doing it with their children, they don't understand there's a bad guy sitting behind the scene because you're doing something different. See, Big Mama and them was just doing it in the family room and wasn't nobody recording it, wasn't nobody doing it. But see, you're recording it. So you're putting it out in the public now. Right. So you're putting it out there where people that can and will do harm are waiting for you to do that. So now instead of your child just being something cute that you sitting around the family watching, you putting it out there, hundreds and even thousands of people are watching it. And the pedophiles, the bad guys, not the ones, because you're so, your intent is just for something cute, but you got to look past your intent. And you got to start to look at stuff and say, what could the harm come from this be? Because see, we're not doing that as parents. We're just doing what we think is cute and entertaining. We're not thinking, but if I put this out there, how could this harm my child? And guess what? Once you put it out there, it can't be taken back. So you're putting your child out there. And you got pedophiles that can sit there and mark your child. And guess what? They can find out what link it came from. If they wanted to, they can trace it back to your house. And when you try to go get in your car with your child, they have seen this child. They want this child. And they will make provisions to snatch this child.
Why do you think most entertainers hide their children from the public?
That is a great point.
Have you ever thought about that?
To protect them?
To protect them.
Because of the fact that they know that there can be a target. So they want to protect them. Why can't we think that way?
Right.
It's not about the wealth of what you have in riches. It's to knowing the wealth that you have in your child.
That's right.
It's to know your child's worth. And I think that's powerful to say, you know what? Absolutely. It is my job as a parent, and it's so powerful what you said, is to protect the innocent of our children because we understand their worst. So I'm not going to display my child. I'm going to protect my child.
Right.
And I think it's very interesting because I know you see a lot of that. And I love to have Keish on the show because I know she deal with a lot of real life.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
She gets in the trenches a lot of really what's going on. So you give it to her real and raw. And I love that. But one of the things, we really want to deal with before we tap into the human trafficking is how can we prevent some things from happening.
Right.
Because we know that the devil is busy.
Very.
Am I right?
Very.
Now we know that he has a plan according to John 10 and 10. We got to put scripture on
That's right.
because on that.
That's
he
right.
has
Three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional. And it's to do what? To
steal, kill, and destroy.
Point blank in the story.
That's it.
We have to get a revelation of what that looked like to you.
Yeah.
As a mother.
Yes.
That's right.
We need to get a revelation of what that looked like to you as a father. And from there, begin to make cautious decisions on what we display on social media.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because what you think is cute today could easily be life-threatening to your child on tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That I want to be the paradigm shift.
Right.
So we can alleviate, shut down one parent from putting those videos of their children because that baby was dropping it like it was real hot. And I couldn't believe it. In the background, and whoever was just giving it, it was cute. And I said, that baby don't understand what she's even doing. She's taught that behavior. And then you take that behavior to school. You see how we're not on one accord?
That's right.
And so we take that behavior to school and we want to know why, it's so many inconsistencies of what's going on, And so these are things that we really, want to deal with. And so are the things that I really want to talk about.
And you asked the question, how can we begin to make change?
Absolutely.
And I think it's just what you said. The mindset has to change.
That's good.
Our perception has to change. We have to change how we see things. We have to learn how to look past what's right in front of us and look for what the potential is, and not just instant gratification of what you see, but what is the potential. In order to do that, we have to change our mindset.
Absolutely.
We have to change the way we're thinking, the way we perceive things, and we have to change our sight pattern. If we're going to be parents, we have to look past ourselves.
Yes.
And we have to make it about the children and not about us. Okay, I think it's cute. Well, guess what? It can't be about me thinking it's cute. I have to make it about, and not only what we just said, how is that child going to feel 20 years from now when they see themselves doing that and they know they didn't have a choice? Right. You put me out there, Mom. I didn't sign a disclosure for you to put me out there in the public eye like that. It wasn't my choice to go out there. You made that choice for me. Is that right?
Now you have opened up that spirit.
Right. Exactly.
At an early age.
At an early age.
So fast forward 20 years, and this same child, God forbid, has been molested. You know, they go around family members, or they or the mom may be single, maybe there's boyfriends or whatever. The baby's innocent. The baby's doing little promiscuous stuff, but the baby doesn't know that. The baby is only doing what they're taught to do. But it's getting a rise out of these adults, and now they're being placed with pedophiles, and you don't even know that's a pedophile. So now, fast forward 20 years, and this child has been molested 10, 15, 20 times. Parents, what part of that accountability and responsibility is ours?
That's it.
And not the child.
That's it. Absolutely. Very powerful. And we go ahead. Go ahead.
You asked the question, what can parents do?
Absolutely.
And I often hear, this is a major excuse that I hear from a lot of the parents that I talk to. Well, they need a cell phone. They have to have a cell phone. Understand that. That's not the only cell phone that they can have.
Right.
That's good.
If they're going to school, they have so many phones that they can have without access to
internet
and online.
Right.
So
that's right.
When I hear that excuse, it simply tells me that parents don't want to upset the child.
Right.
Well, if you're a parent, you're going to upset your child if you're being a parent.
That's right.
And it's your duty at the end of the day to stand the gate, to be at the gate of that child. You allow what comes in and what goes out. And
gatekeeper.
You're the gatekeeper of that child. And takes it back to what Elder Kara said. A lot of parents are very passive when it comes to watching what their children are doing. And I have personal experience with that. So I know if it can happen with one of my siblings doing things online that was very inappropriate, guess what? It can happen to kids. A lot of parents say, well, my child's a straight A student, it can never happen to her. Yeah, well, we see straight A students get caught up into human trafficking. How did that happen to her? How did it happen to these girls and these boys that are athletes, that are star athletes, and they're on the honor roll? How is it creeping in your door to these straight A students? If it can touch them, it can touch that child that don't have that family, that mother,
that vulnerable child.
It can touch that vulnerable child.
Right. And now you tell me,
no one is untouchable.
now that you said that, and you're right, no one is untouchable. Interesting that you said it, but now you said that you displayed and kind of talk a little bit about what do you think that really attract the human traffickers? But I mean, when you think about what is it that you think is key that they really, really, really look for, so that we, even as mothers,
we can be
more
educated
alert,
and we can be aware.
What do you think?
Well, we know that they are online.
Okay.
We know that they are searching the web every day, just like the kids are on the web every day. They're looking for children who are putting their business out. Wow. How much information is your child, if not the parent, putting out there? Personal information. We see so many pictures of girls taking pictures in their bras. I mean, they're just looking for easy marks. They're looking for girls that have issues. I want to know, if I'm a pedophile, I want to know what your issue is, because I'm looking to find someone to groom.
And that's simple.
Wow.
And that's simple. Can I? What does your issue look like?
Wow.
How do we display something simple as what? When you put a post up, you want to tell the entire world what you're going through.
And this is the thing.
That's
teenagers tell it all.
That's good.
And then they make the parents feel like something's wrong with the parent.
Yeah.
This is how the teenagers have some reverse psychology going on with the parents. Because now the parents are like, oh, it's social media. Oh, listen to me. The parents have to learn how to first get educated, like you said.
Okay.
Get educated and put your foot down. Because at the end of the day, I'm saving your life. You can't see it. Just like God.
Yeah.
God sees so much further than us.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So he have to put these blocks in that piss us off. We get mad when he put in these little blocks.
Right.
We got to slow down.
Right.
But he's protecting.
Yeah,
He's
he's
doing his
saving
job.
our lives.
He's
That's
doing
it.
he's doing his
Yes.
job. And guess what? We love and
We've
respect
got
him
to do.
for it.
Yes.
So when we do that to our children, we put these blocks in. It don't matter because when they get older and they have survived,
they'll appreciate it.
they'll appreciate it. And like God, guess what? They can look back and say, I thank you, Mom.
That's right.
Because guess what? I could have walked out
That's right.
and met that guy at the park because it was a guy reaching out to me.
Yes.
So they're looking for kids who are putting their information out there every single day. What are you doing every day? I get in an argument with my mom. She don't understand me. I hate living here. Ping! Check mark. I hate living here.
That's
now I gotta weigh in.
That's
Your mama don't
I
understand
just put
you.
that online.
I
just put that whole
I
statement
got one.
online. Wow.
And I wish I could go find
And
somewhere to live.
that
Wow.
right there displays
I gotta weigh in.
insecurity and
Yes.
being naive.
I have to weigh in.
And that is
Yeah.
one of the things
Yeah.
that it's,
So what you're saying in essence is what teenagers are naive to, or even parents are naive to, is that when we put that stuff online, it's not just going to our friends, the people that we think are our friends, or people that we feel just may not, that they may be there for our well-being. It's actually going to everybody.
Yes, I think
and
that's
there can be
interesting.
somebody that's sitting there that's reading what we're saying, that's looking for a vulnerable teenager, looking for someone. And you just said, I hate my mom. I hate being at home. So they're sitting there. So what are they going to do? Oops, there go one. Let me
talk to you.
Let me
I
talk
gotta
to
gain
you.
your trust.
I think that should be a paradigm shift, not just for the youth,
Wow.
but that's a paradigm shift. It should be right now for everyone to go, wow.
Wow.
And it can happen to any
That's-
child.
Wow.
So please, if you're a parent and you hear my voice, yes, it can happen to your child. I don't care if she's on the honor roll. I don't care if she's at college in the dorm and talk to you every day. Someone can be online on her phone, on his phone, grooming him right now. Talking to her
Talk
now.
to me about that word, that grooming word.
Well, at the beginning stages, that's what we just discussed.
Yes.
They're looking for someone that's vulnerable. You know, even a lot of kids that are in the foster care
So they're
system,
groomed and they don't even know they're being groomed.
they don't know they're being groomed.
Wow.
But they're watching. They have a plan. They have an agenda.
Wow.
So they have steps that they have to follow.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents, when they find out, it's too late. Your child is somewhere in California. You live in Florida.
Yeah.
And it was a story that recently came
It's
out 3
popular.
weeks ago.
It's
North Carolina mother. She said, my senior honor roll girl. She's on the honor roll.
Wow.
She went to school, left and went to school. Third day into her senior year, did not come home.
We're living in a different time.
So
That's what.
wait. Investigate FBI. They're on this case. Investigate, and they find they go on and they look at human trafficking sites, because of course they have access to all of this stuff. They have people undercover working this stuff. And they actually see the girl on there with nude photos.
Wow.
Bring the nude photos back to the mom to show her, is this your child? And she says, that's her. And she's looking at her face. And this is the thing. This is real. This is not made up. This is not TV.
There ain't no movie.
So think about your child going to school the third day of school and your child disappeared.
It can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone.
How do we prevent this? And this right there is the plug-in. We need to wake up.
Yeah.
We're living in a different time.
Yes.
And I don't
And
know
it's
how
gonna make
much
them
I have to
uncomfortable.
really emphasize this.
That's
We're
it.
living, and it's going to make parents feel
Very uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. And also, it's going to inconvenience you.
Yes.
Because you have to do things that you don't want to
That's
do.
the key.
Yes.
Yes.
Mary, Kathy, Pam, Cindy should not be walking home from school alone. I just want to put alert on this right there.
But let me ask you this.
And
What's so-
honestly, I don't. I just want to put alert on that.
Let me ask you this. What is so difficult? Because there are things out there to help parents. But this is my question. What is so, okay, your child needs a cell phone. What's so difficult about putting the app on there? where you can see what they're doing online, and
Right.
it comes directly to your phone
Yes.
or email address.
Yes.
See, this is the thing. Parents have excuses,
Right.
but there are
Not
tools
excuses, but I don't think they realize it can happen.
that
to
are
them.
not being
I don't think
utilized.
they realize it can happen to them.
Tools that are not being
You said it
utilized
earlier.
that can help them.
Absolutely, Keisha.
Yeah.
You said it earlier,
Yeah.
not my child.
Yeah, not
And
my
then
child.
taking out the time to do it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna repeat that. We have to take out the time to do it. We don't like to be inconvenienced.
Yeah.
I have to say it.
Yep.
Hello, somebody.
Yep.
Carol, can
But
we?
we have to wake up, though.
Yeah, and we all
Wake
as
up.
parents, and hey,
Yeah.
this is a real taping and this is real live, and we real
Right.
being transparent. We all got that
Yes.
way in our life,
Yes.
and you have because you have to
Yeah.
raise 3 siblings. When you
Again.
get to the place
Yeah.
when things just have to inconvenience us,
Yeah. And we gotta stop.
Yes.
That's when
Yeah.
we
We
all
gotta do
guilty.
those things.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But the alert call is we know when things like human and sex trafficking is going on right now. We know it is time now that we need to be inconvenienced.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because certain
Yeah.
things that we know we
Yes.
can avoid,
Right.
and certain things that we need to really
Yes.
take action
Yes.
on,
Yeah.
and we have to
Right.
make some
Yeah.
changes.
Absolutely.
Very powerful
Yeah.
what you said.
Put it
Keisha.
like this. Do you want to be inconvenienced now as to doing things differently? Maybe you got to give up a little bit more of your time. Maybe you got to take them to school. Maybe you got to pick them up from school. Maybe you have
Cost.
to stop and pay some money to get a tracking device to put on the phone. Maybe you've got to do
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yes.
Would you rather inconvenience yourself now to have to take extra steps, or would you prefer to inconvenience yourself once your child has been taken to now your whole life has to
Yes.
stop?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So there's a difference, and there's a choice. You got a choice. You can
Yeah,
either, and
absolutely.
I like to say, we have to understand that in life there are two things that we can be. We can be proactive or we can be reactive.
That's good.
It's best to be proactive. Proactive is getting in front of that thing
Absolutely.
before it even happens.
Yes.
Reacting is when you have to react to a situation that's already happened.
Yes.
So you got those two choices.
Absolutely.
Make the choice. I think that we all, as parents, need to be proactive.
Absolutely.
What can we do, just like Prophet said, to prevent this from happening? Because
said
guess what? The
proactive.
message
Yeah,
or
that's
reactive.
good. That's
Because the
good.
message is,
Yes.
if you're out there listening,
That's good.
guess what? It can happen to
Yes.
you.
Yes.
That's
It can happen in
Yes.
your house.
Absolutely.
It can happen in my house. It can happen in any of our houses, because that is the time that we're living in. And guess what? The person that's in California or wherever she is, she was sitting one day thinking,
it.
this could never happen to me.
It never
That's
happened to me.
And
That's
that's
the
it. And I
reality.
think there's 3 types of people, parents,
Yeah.
that we do it. And it's interesting that you said that.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Proactive,
Yes, or reactive.
reactive,
Yes.
or we got inactive parents.
There you go.
Those are 3 types
That's right.
of parents
That's
that we
good.
deal with.
That's right.
And that's very important.
Absolutely.
We have to figure out which one we want to be.
Which one?
And guess what? And then we have to realize when we flip the page and really want to be honest with ourselves,
Yeah.
which one are we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
there are parents
Yeah.
that are not
Yeah.
active at all.
They're
We're
inactive.
inactive.
They
in
let it
our
happen
children's
around
life.
them.
It's
Come
true.
on.
They're not even reacting when it do happen. They got
Yeah,
their heads
that's it.
so far in the
That's
sand
it. That's
that
it.
they don't even see what's happening around them.
Because they haven't dealt with the hole in the soul.
And they don't want to.
Or like the
Yeah.
meeting we had yesterday. That's another
Yeah.
way, another thing.
Very
So I
powerful.
was, I applaud all the parents that got into the building.
Absolutely.
That came
Yeah.
out yesterday. Again, that's where it starts. And
Absolutely.
in the meeting last night, yesterday, that we had the seminar about human trafficking, we had parents in there
That was
Absolutely.
there with
learning.
their children. That's
And
right.
This
That's
is the most
powerful.
important part. That
Yes.
the parents were learning
Yes.
with their children,
That's
and the
partnership.
parents did not know. That's
Yes.
partnership, and the parents
Yes.
did not know
Yeah.
a lot of what's going on. But
Exactly. So now they can be proactive.
now they can be
Now they
proactive.
can be
Now they can
proactive.
come in agreement to say, "You remember the meeting we went to yesterday?
Absolutely.
That's what that is."
That's what they were
And
talking
now
about.
it starts a conversation.
Yes.
right.
Good.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
And
Conversation.
growing
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I
That's
think
it.
that's very interesting.
Are you having a
Are
conversation?
you
Yes.
having a conversation?
That's it.
And conversation
Yeah.
breathe power.
That's right.
Yes.
And I think that's good, like the answer the questions that you asked. And this is the start, you know, to
And we
put
have
it
to
out
start
there.
somewhere.
We have to start somewhere. There
So
has
this-
to be a
yeah.
beginning.
Yes.
And we've got to start. You said it in the beginning. Peel back the layers. We can't be afraid to peel back the layers, afraid of what we're going to find. No, we got to find it.
Yes.
Yes.
Peel it back.
That's the best thing you can do.
Right,
Is find
trace it back.
Yes.
Peel back the layers, and now let's deal with it.
Yes.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk
Let's
about
get to
it.
the dinner table.
Yes.
Come on, Susie. We're gonna have a conversation.
And that's
Yeah.
how
Let's
we
talk.
learn.
Let me see your phone.
That's how we grow.
Let me
Even
see
as
your phone.
parents,
That's right.
that's
why,
how we grow.
Why are parents afraid
Absolutely.
to take a cell phone that they pay for? I don't understand understand that.
Right.
You scared to get little Johnny phone, and you paying the bill for little Johnny phone? I don't understand that.
And Keisha, right, and I know we want to, it's right there we're talking about, because everything is tying into what you're saying. But you said control.
Yeah.
I believe that's what you said, right? I think it is a power of control.
Yes.
But I also believe that some parents don't want to deal with drama.
Yes.
And I want to say it right.
Right.
So when we think about that, part of it is control.
Yes.
But another part could simply be, I think that parents, especially mothers, are so super overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't even want to deal with that today.
Yeah.
It's like finding the inner energy to deal with the aftermath that comes from after taking that phone.
Because there's going to be some drama.
Come on. And sometimes it's like, listen, to keep my peace for this moment in time, I'm going to purchase my peace by allowing you. And I'm telling you, because I've been there before. That's why I can be very transparent until you get to a place where you go, okay, enough is enough. Right. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And this is what I say, because it takes me back to a story of a set of twin girls, 15 years old. And they were talking amongst each other. And one of the twin sisters met a guy online. Did not know, but the other sister covered for her. And she said, so one of the twins snuck out of the house when they met this guy. Well, of course, she disappeared. They found her body 3 days later.
Oh my God.
So this is my thing. When I talk to parents, your child has been murdered. So I go to the extremes when I talk to parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything that parents have going on, I go to the extreme. Is it worth your
Right.
child's body?
That's good.
Put the image of your child.
Give them the worst case scenario. That's
because
right.
that is the worst.
That's
Nude
right.
in the woods,
That's
covered
right.
up.
That's good.
Now, when you get to that point, will you ever say, I wish I could have? That's the worst place a parent can be at.
Absolutely.
When they can say, I wish
Absolutely.
I can go back.
Absolutely.
Because at that time, your job don't matter.
It doesn't.
Let me tell you, money don't matter no
Nothing.
more.
All that stuff that was going to inconvenience you.
Inconvenience don't matter no more when your child is laying in the bushes nude. Well, guess what? There are thousands of parents going through that say, I wish I had known.
Yeah.
I would have snatched that phone, turned it off, burnt it.
Right.
I mean, just think about that. But that's the extreme that I have to take parents to when it comes
because
to
you have to make them
protecting your
face
seed.
reality.
It's reality.
Because your reality says to that parent that you stuck in TV land or whatever, but I'm bringing you reality. Because this happened to it. Let me show you a picture.
Yes.
This happened to someone's child, just like yours, that was sitting in your position.
In your house.
Now you have an opportunity to prevent this. Are you going to just sit down and allow this to happen because you don't want to be inconvenienced? Or are you going, because you have to give them the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
In order for
will
it
it change?
To get in
will
there.
Will it really penetrate your heart and make you really see what parents are going through right now?
Or will you still continue
Or will you
to say,
still hold on
it ain't
to
gonna
the
happen to me?
excuses?
Yeah.
Now, if it's okay for your child to be nude in the woods, dead at 15, then by all means, do what you're continuing to do.
Yeah.
No problem.
Right.
Work and all that stuff is more important than that. But this is why we do what we doing in Girl Talk. We have to educate them.
That's it.
Because parents can't do it all. So the next best thing is to educate them and show them that no, you got to be responsible too, and you got to come in a partnership.
You have
with
a part. That's right.
When it don't look right.
That's right.
But if I don't get you in a place that can give you the information, you're gonna be that word naive again, walking right into a death trap that's been set up for you.
Powerful.
That's good.
Wow.
That's good.
That's
and
it.
I
And
thank
that's
God for
reality.
people like
No,
you.
that's-
That's it.
No,
it's
no.
like scared straight.
It's
Sometimes
reality.
you gotta scare them straight so they can.
And people like, why are you always looking at this stuff? Because I need to see reality.
Yeah.
I don't need to be
That's right.
floating up.
That's
I need
right.
to see reality.
Right.
I need to bring reality to our
Absolutely.
kids. That's what they need to see.
And they
because,
do.
Yeah, because all this technology, it's not reality.
Exactly.
They run to playing and we do jokes every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No, who's showing you reality?
That's
So this
right.
what's going on.
Real
in the
life.
world. This real life. Girls losing their life every day. Your age. They make straight A's.
Right.
Guess what? They be in traffic.
Absolutely.
They having sex with 15, 20 guys a day.
Wow.
If only
Wow.
I had known. That's the worst
Wow.
thing you ever want to hear.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
As a parent,
That's right.
if only I had
That's
known.
right.
If
If only I had known.
I-
And I
If
think
only
you said
I
it,
had
I think
known.
you said it yesterday in the seminar, and I thought that was so powerful in closing. What you were saying was, and I think it was one of you that said it. You know, this is happening, and we're doing this because we want to make sure that no one connected to us or no one in the
Yes.
community, no one
Yes.
under the sound of our voice
Yes.
can ever find themselves in a situation and say, I didn't know.
absolutely.
But one thing we felt confident about
Yes.
was if we
Wow.
bring you the information and
Wow.
you choose
Wow.
not to
Wow.
do anything
Wow.
and you
Wow.
choose to walk
Wow.
into that situation
Yes.
yourself,
Wow.
at least
Wow.
you can say, they told me
Wow.
that and I
Wow.
chose not to.
Yes.
So we
Powerful.
know we did our
We
part.
We did our part.
We can lead a horse
We
to
did our
water,
part.
but we cannot make you drink it.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, God is charging us because He gave the vision
Yes.
to take this out.
And
To
feed 'em.
make people
Yes.
aware. What you do with
Yes.
it is totally up to you. But at the end of the day, we want to know
Yes.
that we did our
We did
part.
our job.
We don't want to see anybody that we knew and say, oh my gosh, did you see so-and-so on TV? She was in there.
Yeah.
Or her child is missing.
That's it.
She's
A
on
child is
Facebook.
missing.
That's it. That's it. This is really a wake-up call.
It's
This
a
is
911
a
call, like you like to
major-
say. 911.
Major wake-up call.
Absolutely.
It is a 911 call, and I'm praying that
Yeah.
we have parents out there now,
Yeah.
right now that's really, really,
Yeah.
really listening
Yeah.
to the information that's coming
Yes.
down the pipeline.
Yes.
And I just believe that there are parents right now that are truly waking up.
Absolutely.
It's like, whoa,
Yes.
because a lot of powerful things have been
Yeah.
said today
Yes.
Yeah.
that even I haven't, we don't think about.
Yeah.
And it's young adult children
Yeah.
too. And you know,
Not just teenagers.
not just
Absolutely.
teenagers,
Absolutely.
because a lot of them are living on
Yes.
their own.
Absolutely.
So these are the skills that we teach. These
Yeah.
are things that they need to
Right.
know
Yeah.
as well to stay
Yeah.
safe.
Right.
Because they could easily end up
Yeah.
a victim just like a 15,
Absolutely.
12-year-old.
And you know, it was powerful even yesterday. One of the young ladies that was there, Deja, was there, and we were talking a little bit. And I was saying, you know, we're talking about it, and she said, this was absolutely great. It was phenomenal. I said, we're going to do it again. Can we get your commitment to come and not just come, Deja? Can you bring some of your friends with you? And she said, Auntie, yes. She said, because I'm going to tell you something. She said, people don't realize this is happening right here.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the people think it's happening in other countries. See, there was a time where this type of stuff
Yes.
was only happening in other countries, that women were getting snatched and
Mm-hmm.
human trafficking and sex trafficking. But it's no longer happening in other countries.
Yes.
We got to take our head out of the sand.
Absolutely.
This is happening in our backyard. Keisha shared a story where right on Oakland Park,
Yes.
there was a house
Yes.
Absolutely.
that the FBI busted.
Yes.
That it was happening in that house. That there were
Right
women
now.
that were being
Yeah.
prisoners in that house. Human trafficking.
Young
Oakland
girls.
Park, Florida.
Yes. Minors.
This is in our backyard, guys. And I don't know where you're living, but Oakland Park is very close to where we are.
Absolutely.
So this stuff is touching our communities now. So we got to fight back.
Yes.
How do we fight back?
Absolutely.
With awareness,
Yes.
with information,
Yes.
with getting our heads up out of the sand and valuing our young people.
Yes.
Yes.
Valuing their life.
And loving them enough to
Loving
do
them.
something.
My
Absolutely.
God, yes.
Absolutely.
Loving them enough to
I
do
love
something
it. I
different.
love
Yeah.
when you say that.
Yeah.
Loving them enough.
Yeah.
to do
Loving
something
them
different.
enough
Yeah.
to get
Absolutely.
uncomfortable.
Right.
We have to.
Yes.
Because I love you. I'm going to
Yes.
show you how much
Yeah.
I love you
Absolutely.
by changing some things.
Change.
And it's okay if you
Yeah.
don't like me.
And it's
I'm good.
okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't stop loving me.
That's
I love
right.
what you
And I
said.
gotta apologize before we go forward because I just said something that, and you know what? Yesterday was such an eye opener for me. You hear me keep saying what we said yesterday. What we said yesterday was absolutely phenomenal, Keisha. Hat off to you again with the information that you brought in the room. I gotta apologize because I just said something wrong. I said we have to be aware and we've got to love our young women. What I found out yesterday, it ain't just about the women. It's the men too.
Yes.
It's the boys too.
Boys
This
too.
thing is gender blind. Hello,
Yes.
somebody. It ain't got nothing to do with your gender. We found out yesterday that there are more young boys.
Yes.
The percentage is higher
Yes.
for the boys than it is the girls. So if you got a son and we're talking and you say, oh, they ain't talking to me because they ain't got no daughter. Because excuse me, I apologize. because I keep saying female. But let me pull you into the conversation, Mom, if you have a son, because I raised 3 of them. It's happening with our boys, too. It's happening with our boys,
But I
too.
didn't realize it was a $1 billion industry.
$150 billion
per year.
Now,
Per year.
anything money is tied in,
Did
you
that blow your
know,
mind?
Per year.
per year.
Per year.
Woo,
So
you-
think about breaking $150 million. $1
Billion.
billion dollars
Billion.
into 1 year. How much money they making a month?
$1 billion a year.
What's being made a month?
A month. Break it down.
And that is
Divide it by
12
12.
months. So that's how huge
And when
the
you know when
industry
you
is.
love money, you do anything, because the Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So we know
Yeah.
you love it, you do absolutely anything
Yeah.
for it. So we understand that that's tied to
Yeah.
the children, the money, and all these different things, and what's happening out there with human trafficking. We understand that they'll go to the limits to do
Yeah.
whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
continue to
Yeah.
increase that industry.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this is a lot of information.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that we get that information out there.
Yes.
That's really important, because we
Absolutely.
know a whole lot of things are going on.
Yes.
And right now we want to take the blinders out.
Yes.
Something
Yeah,
you said
take them off.
interested. Yes, we're blind to a lot of
We
these
are.
things, you know, but we have to take the blinders out.
Yeah.
And I believe
Yes.
that this talk show, this is like a
Yes.
opening up. I feel a
Yes.
paradigm
Yes.
shift
Yes.
going on
So do
right
I.
now.
Yes.
That a lot of parents
Yeah.
are just
They're
opening
having
up.
an ooh-ah moment.
Yes.
They
That's
really
it.
are.
That's
yeah.
it.
It's an ooh-ah moment because they don't know. For whatever it is. It could be, ignorance, I didn't want to know, or whatever the reason is, they're blind to what's actually
absolutely.
happening.
Yeah.
So that's all we're
Until
doing. We just
something
want to bring the awareness, and we don't want you to wait until
Yes.
something happens to be aware. We want to make you aware right now
Absolutely.
just by informing you that this is happening in our backyard.
Yes.
It can be our children, it can be our neighbors' children, it
Yes.
can be our sister's children, it could be the lady in church children,
Mm-hmm.
whoever it is, it could be one of my co-workers, but guess what? It's touching our lives in some kind of a way.
Yes.
So we want to get in
Absolutely.
front of this thing. Prepare yourself. It's just like a storm. When the hurricane is coming, what happens? They get on the news, they tell you that, give you a hurricane warning,
Yes.
to give you an opportunity to prepare yourself, to be proactive to that thing. That's all we're
Yes.
doing. This is a warning. Human trafficking and sex trafficking
Absolutely.
exists.
Yes.
This is a warning.
Yes.
That's
To
it.
prepare
Absolutely.
yourself, prepare your families
That's it.
for what is
Yes.
ahead, so that when it passes,
Absolutely.
you can take a look and say, "Whoa, we survived.
Jesus.
That's
Yes.
it. Absolutely.
Yes.
We survived."
Because girls are going off to college, a lot of things are happening. We can't keep our
Yeah.
hand in their hand.
That's right.
For the rest of their life, we have to let
Absolutely,
them go.
gotta let them
and
go.
we have to understand that there's a system out there that we
Yeah.
cannot trust. I'm
Yes.
sorry. It's
No.
a trust the system.
No.
No, we can't trust the system. Keisha, let me ask you
Absolutely.
a question. What are the 3 things that you think that girls should just be not only aware of, I don't want to say that things that they should begin to change. If you notice a lot of things that girls are doing, what are 3 things that you
Yes.
say they should actually change what they're doing, because they could possibly be a target for
For
human trafficking?
I definitely say putting everything online. How they put all of their business out there.
Yeah.
Feeling how they feeling for the day, because it gives them insight.
Yeah.
Insight to who you are, what's going on with you.
Right.
So it gives me a way in.
Right.
I already know you before I make contact with you.
Right.
Because so much information is out
Yeah.
there. So they have to learn how to pull back and stop putting so much of their feelings on social media, because I know you before I even make contact
Right.
with you. If I want to get you, I can
Know you
get
before I
you.
make
I'm
contact.
gonna speak your language.
Yeah.
I'ma
And
speak
you don't
your
even know I
language.
targeted
I
you.
already know who your mom is. I know why you don't like her. I know
Wow.
why you have issues
Yeah.
with your brother.
I know your
Yeah.
needs.
Like I
Yeah.
know
So I'm gonna
everything
play
about
into
you.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play in that. Get
Wow.
your trust.
I love it.
Because that's what I need to do. I need
Right.
to gain some trust
Right.
between them. But that's one issue. That's
Yeah.
a major
That's
issue
one. Yeah.
that they do. Another issue is when they're out, because a lot of it can happen when they're out and
Yeah.
about. They're not paying attention to their surroundings.
Yeah, be aware.
And a lot of people get caught up cell
Right.
phones and all that
Yeah.
things. But you do have a lot of younger girls out now driving,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of teenagers together,
Absolutely.
who's watching, who's
Yeah.
looking.
Right.
So just giving them that information, empowering them with the information, with survival skills.
Yes, yes,
Very
yes.
powerful.
When
Yeah.
you're
Right,
walking
right.
around, who's watching you,
Yes.
the cars that are driving behind you. So those are just some of the important things that we tell them. Another thing, a lot of girls, they go to other friends' house. So that's a door in.
Wow.
If it's not happening in my house, I trust that other friend house. So they can get a gate. There's a gateway into through that other friend.
Oh, wow.
Now you have that other friend that can say, I met a guy.
Oh, wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that friend isn't getting the education that your child is getting.
Yeah.
So there's another door that's open that you're letting your child walk into. So of course she's at that friend house, door wide open, and that friend is like, hey, I met this guy, let's go check him out.
Wow.
And it's amazing that I say that because it happened with a famous case that's out, R. Kelly. And this is what the girl said. One of the girls now who's still caught up in all of this stuff, she said, I went to a friend house, just as innocent. She said, I went to a friend house and my friend told me, hey, I know him. Let's go. So that was an open door, just as innocent.
Spirit of influence.
Spirit of influence, but she got caught up because she went to that friend house.
And I feel safe because it's my friend.
It's my friend, but her mom felt safe because, hey, I know her mom.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But they're not educated. They don't have the information to protect themselves and be the first line of defense for themselves.
Right.
So she walked right into that and she's still tangled in it. That's 15 years later.
Wow.
This is 15 years later. I walked into an open door and I'm still in that door 15
years later.
Wow. And then you hear her mom chasing her around doing all this stuff. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
Parents don't have time
until it happens.
Yeah. You don't have a choice.
Right.
That becomes
so now
your
you
time.
got all the time.
That becomes your time.
Yep.
So now her mom begging and pleading, like I say, I wish
I would have.
known.
Yeah.
So that's.
I wish I would have done something different.
I wish I would have
Absolutely.
done something different.
Powerful.
Wow.
That's
That's
great. Great information. Great information. Wow.
I'm telling you, this is really great, friends. We're pushing it. We are really, really standing in agreement
Absolutely.
that we would get this information out concerning human trafficking and also sex trafficking.
Yeah.
This is one of our objective is to really, really help save the lives of these girls. Because it's time for us to rally together. Elder Carol, we only have a few minutes left. What could you possibly say out there as we get ready to just kind of close up a little bit? What could you play? What's on your mind? And share with the parents if you believe that some of the things that you see that could take place could possibly change the lives of these girls.
Absolutely. What I would say is be empowered. Be empowered and be invested. Don't sit back as an innocent bystander on what's happening in your child's life. Don't just sit back and be someone that's watching. Be invested. Be empowered. That's your child. Take control. And if you're the parent, you have every right to. We can sit back and we can be an innocent bystander and we can just watch our children's lives go by. Or we can step up and we can be vested in their lives. We can be empowered to make a change, empowered to be available so that whatever happens with our child, whether it's on the north, south, east, or west, I'm planted right smack in the middle. So no matter what happens, it's going to touch me and I'm going to know. So don't just sit and don't just be an innocent bystander. Don't just sit back in the shadows, right? And be someone that's just there with your children. Be involved with them because God gave them to you. You're the shepherd and that's you. Those are the sheep.
That's good.
And as a parent, you're the shepherd. You're the one that God is charging, right? So one day when it's judgment day, guess what? He gonna ask us, what did we do with his children? Because remember, they're only on loaner to you, but they belong to God. What are you doing with his sheep?
Yeah,
just be empowered.
Keisha, very passionate about what we do. I know that you're in the front line of really, really pushing and believing in that this awareness needs to take place in the community. And we also stand with you and Sister Empowerment Sisters Girl Talk as well. I want you to just tell them, why are you so passionate? And then we're going to, just kind of close with that. And I'm telling you, this has been awesome. Why are you so passionate about what you do? And why do you believe it's so important?
I think I'm so passionate about it because even with the organization, when I grew up, I didn't have it. I didn't have such a huge support system. So I pretty much had to wing it when it came to mentorship, when it came to being educated about dangers and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it was just the grace of God that covered me, but it could have easily, something could have easily happened to me during my long walks back, back and forth from school, home, or whatever the case is. I just give it up to God, because honestly, I think, I could have easily been kidnapped because I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Wow.
So I'm so passionate about it because, hey, it could have easily happened to me. But because we have so many organizations right now that's standing in the gap to get in front of this, to empower and educate us on a different level, it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't have any of this. So I'm so passionate when it comes to being connected to other people that see the need and actually doing something about the need, because it could have easily been me.
Absolutely.
And I just, being in law enforcement, that's what we see. We see the tears, we see the cries, we see the pain, we see all the agony that you will never see in your life if you're not in law enforcement or probably the military. We see things that the average person don't see. Wow. So when we open our mouth and we speak, it's because we have seen it. We have felt the emotions. We have felt the regret. We have seen the kids and seen the bodies and stuff like that. Like, this is what is presented before us. So a lot of us, law enforcement, we have to do something with it. We can't just take this and keep it all in. So I'm so passionate about giving everything out that I've experienced, because I know with this information that I gain, I can save a life.
Yes,
even if it's one, I can do something and save and prevent some girl, some boy from making that tragic, getting into that car, going with that guy, because I see it. We see it. So that's why I'm just so passionate about
so powerful.
doing something.
That's powerful.
Action,
Absolutely. Very, very powerful and empowering information. It is time for us to be involved.
Wow.
As parents, it is time for us to invest.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
parents. I think investing is the word that just sticks out of me right now, even as I close the Sister and Pastor Street talk show today. Invest. I encourage every parent out there, wake up. And not only wake up, I need you to stay up. Because we're truly living in a totally different day right now. So it is important that we realize that human trafficking and sex trafficking is real. It exists. And this is the thing of reality. Guess what? It may not be your child today, but it can easily be your child on tomorrow. So it's really important that we rally together, get involved with more community activities, and find out what's happening in your community to help empower your children to a new day. Listen, Sisters Empowering Sisters Girl Talk is having another human trafficking workshop on next month. Come on, stay tuned for more information. Time and location will be posted online for you. Thank you all so much for coming along with us as you help us empower our youth into a new day.